Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you a scary story, and this scary story has to do with meowing nuns. As ridiculous as that sounds, you're probably like, what? Is that real? Like, really? Really? That's exactly what I thought. I've been watching this show with my husband called Houdini and Doyle, and just in brief conversation, I don't even remember which episode it was just the one, that was basically themed around mass hysteria. And just in brief conversation, this episode had nothing to do with the meowing nuns. However, it just brought up one of the characters brought up in conversation something about like the meowing nuns, and I was like, is that really? Did that happen? So Google, here I come. So I Googled it, and it was a real thing, and I just kept reading. I'm like, I gotta talk about this. I gotta. You guys gotta know about it. So for those of you who don't know what mass hysteria is, it's basically, when a group of people get together, then it's never on purpose. It can happen anywhere, at any time. It really just depends on your mental state and like how easily you get tricked or you fall into a delusion. So it's basically, a form of manipulation where someone might use fear or disease. So the most common is disease. So, for example, I remember watching a House episode way back in the day where they're all on an airplane and one person is having certain symptoms and everyone else thinks that it's a certain type of disease. So guess what? Everyone else starts having the same symptoms, possibly phantom symptoms. Like, have you ever had that? Have you ever, someone told you a story about, oh my gosh, my child had lice, and all of a sudden you're itching? You're like, oh my gosh, I have it too. So it's like phantom symptoms. It's not real. It's all manipulation of the brain. So it's fear. Fear is very powerful. So I'm going to read a little bit from my notes that I have here. But this case in particular about the meowing nuns happened in the Middle Ages. And it was in France. And the incident started with just one nun meowing like a cat. And then the rest just conveniently followed. The group would apparently meow together for many hours, sometimes at specific points of the day. But the nuns soon ceased their meowing when soldiers who were sent there threatened to whip them with rods. Also around this time, this was when, in the 19th century, Middle Ages, same time with these meowing nuns, a lot of people believed that mass hysteria, because it wasn't, no one really knew what it was, but a lot of people believed it was like witchcraft or like demonic possession. But who's to say it wasn't either? I don't know. I like to keep an open mind. So I also found on this other site that the nuns were whipped and beaten by the soldiers. But so this one just basically says they were whipped and they were beaten severely until they promised they wouldn't meow anymore. So a lot of the Christian people that lived outside that were freaked out by these meowing nuns, they also, they believed that cats were like the symbol of something demonic. So, you got all these nuns in church and they're meowing and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the devil. It's just crazy how it just started with one nun just meowing like a cat. But why was she meowing like a cat? What made her start? Maybe she really likes cats, or maybe she was the one, maybe she was possessed. I don't know. Maybe she was a witch. I don't know. But it's just interesting how something as simple as meowing, that can sound as silly as it does, because it got me to Google it. I'm like, this can't be real. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, mass hysteria is kind of scary. And in my research, there are multiple cases back in the day of all kinds of interesting mass hysteria. So thumbs this up if you liked it. Let me know if you want me to talk about any other mass hysteria cases, whether they are new or old, or I don't know. Some of them are kind of spooky. Some of them, this one was kind of silly spooky. Some of them are spooky. Not just one spooky, but two spookies. So I love you guys. I will talk to you later. And if you ever have any scary story suggestions, leave them down in the comments below, or if you see one down in the comments, just thumbs it up, Yeah. So I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.